Alton Lister and Caldwell Jones jump it, and it's won by Milwaukee. Yesterday, the Bucks practically used a 5-man team. They had 4 men with 40 or more minutes and 1 with 37. They'll have to go more to their bench today. Marques rebound Dawkins, and here comes Philadelphia 3-on-2 break. Andrew Toney gives to Cheeks, and Philadelphia running gets on the board. Philadelphia wants to run. Milwaukee normally would run, but not the way they are with their injuries. The Buckner and Bridgman. Lanier going inside against Dawkins, has his own rebound, and will have a foul. It's against Philadelphia.
Now that's the kind of shot that Bob Lanier would like to take inside, because although he missed his shot, there's a good chance of getting fouled or making a shot.
Darryl Dawkins. First personal foul, and he has been in foul trouble since he's come back to action. Alton Lister with a hook shot, the rookie from Arizona State, and will only play against Caldwell Jones. When Bobby Jones comes in the game, Don Nelson will have to counter with Mickey Johnson off the bench. Dawkins outside, they swing it around. Julius Erving trying to get off in this game. Toney outside, same story. Lister the rebound. Milwaukee will run when they have an opportunity. It's not there.
Now, you know, as demonstrated by the last shot yesterday, a coach can have plans, but he has to have the players to execute. And in this series, the players out there that have to maintain the pace that each coach wants. Philadelphia wants to run. Milwaukee wants to walk it up.
Paul Mahalik and Wally Rooney are the referees. Bill Saar, the alternate. Personal foul was on Lister, so Lister with his first foul. That does not count as a team foul. Julius against Marques Johnson. Blocked out of bounds by Lister. Still Philadelphia ball. You're going to see help on Julius. Marques did a great job, but you have to help him.
You always have to help on Julius. Every team in the league double teams, and I think they accept that as part of the game, that he will be double teamed.
Andrew Toney misses the baseline, and Moncrief, who likes to play inside, led his team in scoring, rebounding, believe it or not, at a 6'4" guard, and playmaking. Winters out to Lanier, who can hit from outside. Moncrief, first man to lead his team in those categories since Dave Cowens of the Celtics did it 4 years ago. And they're holding him tight early in the game. Sixers called with their second foul, and it's against Andrew Toney.
On each team, there are guys that the coach feels that they can't get in foul trouble. I think Toney is one of the players for Philadelphia.
Lister, 2 hook shots.
For Milwaukee, and those two guys are guarding each other. They both have to be careful.
You saw Philadelphia has lost the last 6 here at the Milwaukee Arena. Erving trying to get off, and they have a 3-second violation. Philadelphia was called for a 3-second at least 3 or 4 times yesterday.
Now, so far, Milwaukee, except for that quick fast break, has been able to keep the game pretty slow. But it's a struggle all the way. And as I said before, it's like holding water in your hand. Philadelphia is going to get something through.
And the basket would have counted had it gone in. We have a foul as Marques Johnson setting a screen for Lanier was pushed. And the foul is on Darryl Dawkins. Second foul on Dawkins.
Now, this is a very important situation, because Darryl Dawkins does more for Philadelphia than his numbers indicate. He opens the floor up because he's a good outside shooter. With him out of the game, they don't have that outside threat really except for Toney and Cheeks.
Bobby Joe comes in the ball game for Darryl Dawkins. Moncrief missed outside, and here comes Julius. He's dangerous when he has the open court and grabs the rebound, but Cheeks brings it along. Mickey Johnson comes in the game. As soon as Bobby Jones comes in, Mickey Johnson comes in, and we have another foul. So the whistle's been blowing early here, and Brian Winters commits his first foul, and it is the first team foul against the Bucks. Philadelphia already has 3. There's Mickey Johnson, who has been superb in 3 games. He had 21 points on 9 for 14 shooting yesterday. Gets a good rebound here.
Now, Mickey Johnson resisted temptation that he had to throw a long outlet pass. And that's one of the things that these guys have to be thinking in a time like this. You can't just go by feel, because normally they're a running team and they have to think, not run.
Johnson loses the ball and then covers up to force a jump ball. So Mickey Johnson lost it and then alertly covered it up.
Good hustle. And that in itself is another challenge. Now here's Mickey Johnson getting, sometimes they call travel on that when you roll over.
It'll be Caldwell Jones jumping against Mickey Johnson, controlled by Philadelphia. We can expect the Sixers to do more full court pressure in this game than we've seen it. Cheeks missed it in and out, and Marques Johnson. They will run here. Look at that move. Marques Johnson had 17 points and 11 rebounds yesterday. Bo Cheeks comes right back.
And that's what tough teams do to you. You make a spectacular shot that gives you a lift, and before you get a chance to take your breath, they've gotten it back.
Don Nelson calls play number 5. Winters shadowed by Mo Cheeks. Lanier. And here comes Julius. Philadelphia trying to run. Julius Erving can do so much. We have a foul. It is against Milwaukee, and the foul is against Brian Winters, his second personal foul. And Winters has been struggling, averaging 2 points below his season's average here in the playoff against the Sixers.
If you were to say that the 76ers have a favorite way to fast break, it would be off of Julius Erving rebound when he's bringing the ball up.
Caldwell Jones, who is hitting double his season's average, averaging over 14 against the Bucks, 7.9 on the season, and has been the leading rebounder. Marques Johnson. And here comes Julius again. As Bill says, this is the way Philadelphia likes to run it. Milwaukee coming back. Open is Winters.
Now that was a good shot, but the Bucks have to be careful, because that was a fast break, and they don't want to get into a running game.
Winters was 2 for 11 from the field yesterday.
Although you have to take those guys, because you don't get very many easy shots, especially against Philadelphia, who's a really outstanding defensive team.
Bobby Jones on a pick and roll as a three-point play possibility. And a fine pass by Maurice Cheeks. Bobby Jones, who sparked a fourth quarter spurge for Philadelphia to give them the lead after they were down by 11 points in the second half. The foul is on Marques Johnson, and Mo Cheeks has just done everything for Philadelphia. Timeout, 6:59 remaining in the first. Here are the statistics from yesterday's game, and what really hurt Philadelphia, 22 turnovers. That really wrecked their ball game. And so far, they expect from their firepower 2 men in particular, Julius Erving and Andrew Toney. There's the Doc getting up. So far today, they are 0 for 5 from the field, and the rest of the team is 4 for 5. So they need Julius and Toney to score in this game.
Well, Julius will do a lot of other things, but they need Toney scoring more than anything. Another thing about those statistics, those turnovers, Dick, during the playoffs, especially the semifinals and the finals, you will find there will usually be more turnovers because the teams cause turnovers by playing good defense. Because only the better defensive teams are still playing.
You're looking at the trapping pressure by Philadelphia, not quite full court, but a glimpse of what we might expect more of. And there may be no better team in the league than Philadelphia with a trapping defense. Moncrief.
And that's one of the results, and you will see, of a pressing defense. A lot of teams, when they get across the 10-second line, will ease up. But the good teams will attack the press, especially when you get in the front court.
Bobby Jones looking into Julius Erving. Knocked away in a good play by Marques Johnson, anticipating that pass and set up that steal. So Milwaukee has the lead by 1 point, 6:19 to go. Marques Johnson is posting Erving inside, now moving away. Winters getting free of Cheeks. If Bryant can hit well in this game, that'll be a big boost to Milwaukee. On a switch, Cheeks picks up Moncrief, and Bob Lanier misses. Here's Julius. Open court, dangerous. Moncrief is on Cheeks now. Winters is on Andrew Toney. And we have a Milwaukee foul.
Now, one thing that Julius Erving has not shot well so far, but he changes the focus of the defense so much when he has the ball that he opens it up for other guys to get easy 15-foot shots.
Don Nelson, who played center at the University of Iowa and scored over 10,000 points in his pro career. And there you look at Andrew Toney, who can beat you from outside and get a great first quick step and can punish you inside. Bill Cunningham, who played his college ball and was an All-American in North Carolina, where they called him the Kangaroo Kid because he could jump so high. Marques Johnson, top of the key. He's averaging 5 more points a game in the playoffs than during the regular year. He's averaging 21 on the playoff, 16-5 during the season. Erving, who did not take an outside shot all game. This is his first one here. And on a break, Marques, 2-on-1. Moncrief, basket good and a foul. And Milwaukee is in control even when they run so far.
Now I think that Don Nelson is going to go to his bench much earlier today because he can't play these guys 46 minutes and play the good defense because he depends on... That's a good fast break.
53, Darryl Dawkins for Caldwell.
All right, Andrew Toney committed the foul, his second, and Pat Cummings has come in the ball game, number 6, replacing Bob Lanier. And this is where the matchups come into play. Cummings came in. Billy Cunningham countered with Darryl Dawkins. Cummings cannot play Dawkins, and so Don Nelson was forced to take out Cummings and bring in Harvey Catchings, who can play Dawkins. So the chess game is on early here between these two coaches.
And I think they can object by the fact that they're putting him in and taking him out without a play going.
Doesn't matter.
That's exactly it.
Recognized it comes on the floor, he must stay for one play.
All right, he has to stay. You hear Wally Rooney.
He has to stay for one play.
So Cummings has to come back in. Now, the one thing Nelson didn't want to see was Cummings against Darryl Dawkins. And as soon as Pat came in, a third-year player for Cincinnati at 6'9.5", Cunningham immediately sent in Darryl, even though Dawkins has 2 fouls. Three-point play by Sidney Moncrief. 5 Bucks have scored so far. Only Lanier hasn't scored of the players who've seen action, and of course Cummings in there. They may be going to Darryl here. Erving, good move. Good play by Julius Erving, who's 1 for 5 from the field.
You know, all this maneuvering about who can play and who can't play. If you can play, you can play. Now, it may not be to your advantage, but you can also turn these things that you think is a liability into assets.
Well, if Dawkins scores 10 points in the next 5 minutes, maybe we'll say I can't play it. Cheeks with a great drive. Tremendous player, Mo Cheeks, who's leading both teams in assists and steals and hitting over 13 a game. .4:10 remaining. Milwaukee has won 3 division titles in a row. The other one was a Midwest division title. Marques Johnson goes in and counts. Marques Johnson with a scoop shot has 6 points in the ball game. And if he can burst out and give the Bucks what they wanted early in the year, the Bucks will be tough.
Now here's the jump stop that Marques Johnson comes to, and there's that move that got him right free there, and the scoop shot. Just before he came down, he let it go.
Bobby Jones committed the foul, his first, and the 76ers are over the limit now. Milwaukee has committed 14 fouls. Under 4 minutes remaining, first period. Dawkins against Catchings, and Dawkins burns former teammate Harvey Catchings. So when they were in Philadelphia, when Dawkins came out of Evans High School in Orlando, Catchings was a starter and Dawkins was coming off the bench.
Seems like Catchings didn't do any better job than Cummings did.
Marques Johnson against Julius Erving. Backs it in. Johnson, off hot, has 8 points on a 4 for 6 shooting. Less than 3.5 to play, and Milwaukee is up by 4. That matches their biggest lead. No one has really pulled out to any kind of a big lead. And foul here against Milwaukee. It's against Catchings, and they'll shoot it because it's the 15th foul against the Bucks as Mike Bantam comes into the ball game. Mike Bantam was 0 for 4 from the field in yesterday's game, but scored 16 points coming off the bench in game 1. And of course, we mentioned Harvey Catchings. Yesterday, Milwaukee moved out in front quickly, much closer off the top this game.
Yes. Philadelphia's off to a better start, although they're still playing at pretty much in Milwaukee's pace. But as I said, with good teams, they can play half-court games just as well as they do the fast break. They would rather play the fast break because for their personnel, it's to their advantage.
Brian Winters, pounded by Cheeks, gives up the dribble in the catches against Dawkins, and he travels. 3 seconds, 3-second violation against Milwaukee. One thing we saw coming up was Mickey Johnson bringing the ball up as a power forward. He's one of the best ball-handling power forwards in the league. So we have a timeout called for by Philadelphia. With 2:59 remaining in the first period, Milwaukee has the slim lead. Hey, Russ, how many years you play with this guy?
4 or 5 years, I don't know. It seems like a lifetime. You know, I look at him as a coach. He looks so serious, and I know that when we were teammates, he was one of the biggest practical jokers on the team. We had great times. That's one of the finest human beings that walks the earth.
Don Nelson, who yesterday looked like he was so calm, but that wasn't. He told us he was up at 3 a.m. looking at film of the game.
Well, he gets nervous. He gets real nervous.
Bucks by 3. The rebounding story's been interesting so far. Cheeks goes to Dawkins. Catchings has him pretty far out. Nelson doesn't mind if Dawkins takes that shot. Bantam, though, in a good position, tips it in, and a loose ball foul is called against Philadelphia. Mike Bantam had position, but he pushed off. So both teams, of course, over the limit, and they'll shoot with 2:38 to go in the first period.
You know, Milwaukee has a unique situation. Marques Johnson and Sidney Moncrief, they're two most effective offensive players. Maybe they're two best defensive players now. And so that when these guys have to go long minutes, it is really tiring. Because some guys are let up on one or the other. And if you got Julius Erving or Toney, you can't let up any place.
Biggest lead of the game right now for Milwaukee. Clint Richardson, number 4, is in the game. Bobby Jones goes in, and we will have goaltending. They're going to score the goal for Bobby Jones.
There's the pads in. Let's see if we can see him. He jumps into Mickey Johnson, and then catching blocks it. They call it goaltending.
And a foul. The personal foul is on Mickey Johnson, his first, and Bobby Jones will go to the line for one shot. So, as we told you, Clint Richardson, who has played very confidently, coming off the bench as the third guard for Philadelphia, is in, and Robert Smith is in for Milwaukee. So Robert Smith is in the ball game, and his job will be to guard Motique.
From Great Falls.
That's right, you were talking to him. And he got some calls from Montana yesterday, right?
Yeah, we got the telephone company a little help. They needed.
Winners. Richardson into a pick. The basket counts. Brian Winters may be getting hot here. He's 3 for 3 in the ball game and will go to the line.
No, Mickey Johnson will go to the line because what happened, he said a pick and he got run over. And so, but they called the goal good. Here's the play here. Now here he sets the pick, and there's Clint Richardson running over him.
Richardson committed the foul, and Mickey Johnson is having a fine series as Julius Erving returns to the ball game. Erving only 2 points. He's guarded by Marques Johnson, and Maurice Cheeks hits from outside. He had 19 points in yesterday's game and actually out-rebounded his teammate Darryl Dawkins, 5 for 3. He's 4 for 5 shooting in this game. Under a minute to play, first period. Cheeks is on Robert Smith. He's a journeyman in the NBA despite a 4-year career in New Jersey, Cleveland, Utah. Winters puts a fake on Richardson, trying to draw the foul. Richardson played it well, and it's going to be Philadelphia ball. And Scott May coming into the ball game. He did not play yesterday, and he will be in to watch Bobby Jones when Jones is in the ball game, and Mike Bantam right here. Scott May acquired from Chicago and was a very pleasant surprise when Junior Bridgman went on the injured list for the first of 2 times earlier in the year. 1:24 to go. Julius misses outside. Bantam to Julius. Julius Erving, 2 for 7 from the field for his 4 points.
Now Don Nelson's going more to his bench today than he did yesterday. and he put Scott May in. Scott May's an excellent player, a veteran, good coaching. He will not make the mistakes that will hurt you.
Winters hit. And that's the trademark of Brian Winters, who sat out the last 7 games with a groin pull and with various ailments missed 21 ball games for the Bucks this year. 47 seconds to go, first period. The Bucks are up by 3. Their biggest lead was 5. And we'll have a Milwaukee foul. It's on Catchings. Harvey Catchings the foul. Let's watch Bandom against Scott May inside.
Now Scott May is screening out and keeping contact. Although Bandom got the ball and passed it to Julius, Scott May did what you have to do. You have to keep contact on the boards before you go for the ball.
Dawkins makes the first free throw in Game 4 of the Boston-Washington Eastern Semifinal Playoff. Celtics leading 2-1. Here's what's happening in that game.
28-27.
First period, it's close. So Dawkins with 2 free throws. 1-point Milwaukee lead, 35 seconds to play, first period. Scott May played in Indiana, then the Chicago Bulls. Win Buckner, his teammate, injured, of course, out with a fractured right thumb. And there'll be a foul on Clint Richardson. So
they run into a lot of picks. Now, when that happens, that means the guy that's being picked, the standing pick, he has to tell the guy there's a pick coming so that you know. That's the way you avoid switches if you don't want, or the guy run into him. He should know there's a pick there. One of the key elements of playing defense is conversation. You have to talk to your teammates.
Robert Smith, while playing for the New Jersey Nets, once scored 19 against the Boston Celtics, and that's been his bright moment in the professional ranks. In his 4th year out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and even 6 feet tall. 1 of 2 for Smith. And Philadelphia undoubtedly playing for the last shot to try to tie it. First period action, and as close as we had anticipated.
Hold it, Bo.
Cunningham standing at the top of your screen. 8 seconds to go. Richardson. Clint Richardson. 3 seconds to play. Smith. Let's go for 3, and it's off play. Robert Smith, who passed up a 3-point attempt when Milwaukee needed it in Game 1, misses it here. We have had 4 ties. We have ended the first period of play before a sold-out crowd in the Milwaukee arena. Philadelphia leading 2-1 in the series, tied with the Bucks. All right, you're looking at the 3-point field goal percentage leaders. Oddly enough, Toney and Winters did it coming off the bench through most of the season. Brian Winters, of course, is counted on, especially with Bridgman and Quinn Buckner out of there. And Don Nelson was telling us earlier in the ball game that he's going to have to rest Winters a little bit in this ball game, and we may see Marques Johnson play a little bit at guard, something we did not see in Game 3 yesterday.
The center. Philadelphia.
You know, any statistic that none of the centers are involved in, I'm a little suspicious of it anyway. 3-point goals.
Well, you would have been great at the 3-point.
Oh, yes.
You would have been 0 for 100.
No, I would have made 1 for 99.
Clint Richardson passes inside to Mike Bandom, and a good play by Mike Bandom, acquired from the Indiana Pacers in January when Darryl Dawkins went off with an injury.
In the first quarter, I thought that 29-29 was too many points for Milwaukee.
Do you really?
Yes, they would rather have it a much lower scoring game.
Scott May and Erving went up high, and Don Nelson is screaming at Ed Milden that he thought Erving interfered with the ball on top of the cylinder. Harvey Catchings, who led Milwaukee in block shots for the 3rd straight year, blocked the doctor and the foul at the other end.
And they call that foul on Darryl Dawkins.
That's 3 on Dawkins, and Caldwell Jones immediately gets off the Philadelphia bench.
Now here comes Mickey Johnson, and here's the foul by Darryl Dawkins. He stepped over. Yes, he was still moving. And he was trying to pass to Scott May.
Don Nelson thought Erving interfered with the ball on top of the cylinder. You'd be the judge. No, it was off to the right of the basket. Robert Smith controlling outside. So Caldwell Jones is in, playing the center position. Dawkins with 3 quick fouls. He's a disappointment yesterday and not producing so far in this game as Mickey Johnson hits a turnaround shot. He has 7 points. Winters leads along with Marques Johnson with 8 points. Cheeks with 8 leading Philadelphia.
And quietly, Sidney Moncrief has done an excellent job on Andrew Toney up to this point. He hasn't really hurt them as bad as he did yesterday. But it's early.
Caldwell Jones playing away from the hoop. Lanier on him. Toney in a foul. A lot of shoving, a lot of pushing going on. And the foul being called on Moncrief. Here's
As soon as I said it, huh?
No one's perfect. Sidney Moncrief out of Arkansas, just in his 3rd year, and a great career ahead of him. Caldwell Jones hits another one from outside. They're going to have to play him a little tighter if he starts to hit.
Well, they had a mix-up on the switching there, and no one was on Clint Richardson. And so Bob Lanier went over him, and that's why Caldwell Jones was free.
Sixers led 2-0, 31-29, and now it's 33-21. Otherwise, it's been Milwaukee leading most of the way. Robert Smith outside, hit. Got a good line drive jump shot does Robert Smith, who averaged 6.4 during the regular year. And we have our 6th headlock. There's Toney and Moncrief. What a matchup that is. Julius with Mickey Johnson. Basket won't count. A foul before the shot.
Number 7.
It's on Scott May, and a timeout will be called. So Scott May commits the personal foul for the Milwaukee Bucks. 9:51 to go in the first half, and we're tied. What do you think, Bill? We've had nothing but great action whenever Ray Boom Boom Mancini is on CBS Sports Saturday, and it should be a great lightweight championship bout against Frias next Saturday on CBS. Now, you didn't hear me as we were going to commercial before because we had a little problem, but what is your assessment of the game thus far? Yesterday, Milwaukee took an early lead. Philadelphia came back. It's been awfully close so far, Bill.
Well, what Philadelphia has been able to do, they've upped the tempo a little bit. But it has not been as devastating to Milwaukee as it might have been because they're using more people. And the reason I couldn't hear you, I was trying to check on what Nelson was doing back there.
Andrew Toney penetrating nicely. Bantam tried to tip it in, and it's a Milwaukee ball as it hit under the basket. One thing Julius Erving said coming into the game, he said he thought that Philadelphia's depth would be a big factor, and he thought Milwaukee expended a lot of energy yesterday, playing only 5 people and playing that style, and he thinks it'll take its toll today. So far, it hasn't.
Well, I think Billy Cunningham is going to, from time to time, use the press. But since they don't use it very often, they have to be very careful with it because the press can really get you in more trouble than you'd like to be in.
5 seconds on the shot clock, and Bob Lanier misses outside, and Milwaukee gets the offensive rebound with Moncrief, and a new clock.
But Mickey Johnson kept it alive, and that's what you got to do when you can't get the ball off the board. You keep it alive and try to keep it in the area where you can take advantage of where the bounce is.
Moncrief off the glass, and Julius gets the rebound. Open court, here he comes. Toney on his right, and he's got Bantam with a fine pass inside. So Julius Erving, who only had 10 points yesterday, nonetheless has 7 assists in the game. He has 5 assists so far in this game, and we're dead even in the shooting department. 8:45 remaining first period. Darryl Dawkins on the bench with 3 personals for Philadelphia.
So on that
Winters, way off.
Air ball. On the up-tempo of the game, that is to build up the advantage because
I guess so.
of the dot.
Andrew Toney, Philadelphia, one of the best defensive teams you will see as a team. They depend on Toney and Doc on offense. And if they start to get unleashed, Milwaukee would be hard-pressed. So Philadelphia.
That's one of the reasons I said that the tempo in the first quarter was a little too quick.
And it's continuing as Marques Johnson comes back in the ball game. Here is Marques, who has scored 8 points in the game, but has 2 personal fouls. Personal foul was on Bantam, his second.
And so Milwaukee is going to have to discipline themselves to keep that ball slow no matter what. Now, if you got an easy shot, you got to take it, but they have to slow the pace down. Because what happens is they make it easy for Philadelphia offense, which is basically a 2-man offense to play if they're off the tempo.
Erving's first foul and the 13th foul on Philadelphia. So Mickey Johnson goes to the line. How much more difficult is it for a team like Milwaukee to change its style after preferring to run? We know Houston has to play one way when they were playing, but Milwaukee is really changing it. How tough?
Well, it's tough if you don't keep reminding yourself. You see, because all year long, this is a fast break team. And if you keep reminding yourself, he has the personnel and experience to keep the pace down, but they have to keep reminding themselves.
Biggest Philadelphia lead a moment ago, 4 points. It's 3 right now, and now it is 5 as Julius Erving with a finger roll has 6 in the ball game. Billy Cunningham, who played 11 years and was a member of a championship team in Philadelphia in 1967. What a great team that was. Winters guarded by Toney. Caldwell Jones on Lanier. Marques Johnson guarded by Banter, who's a good defensive forward. Marques goes in. No one can stop that. That's what he does the best. 5th year from UCLA. Missed the first 18 games of the season because of a contract dispute. But coming out of the pack now, and was slow getting back into shape. Feeding Moncrief beautifully. What a pass by Marques Johnson, who had 7 assists yesterday.
And the Milwaukee bench is calling for a foul on that play. They're not going to get it now, I can tell you that. They may get it later.
Under 7 minutes to go, first half. Bantam posting inside against Mickey Johnson, and Mickey might have hit him. Bantam awfully strong inside, and Mickey Johnson commits the foul. It'll be the 13th foul on Milwaukee, and we have a timeout. It has been an even game. Milwaukee had a 5-point lead at 26-21. Philadelphia had a 5-point lead moments ago, and right now it's a 1-point battle. In this game, Milwaukee doesn't want to run, Bill, but when they have the opportunity, they've got to go with it.
Now, in this particular play, they end up coming up with the ball there, and Marques Johnson takes the ball all the way. Now, they did not stop him. That's why he penetrated so far past the foul line. There he ends up with a shot to Sidney Moncrief. You have to stop the ball before it gets to the foul line. But I think that is not to Milwaukee's advantage, because although they end up with a basket there, they are continuing in an up-tempo. And they had great success yesterday in slowing the ball down.
It's tough to turn
the game. Yes. And so this is when you really have to discipline yourself, because they're capable of playing both ways. Now that demonstrates that they're used to using the fast break and they know how to do it very well. But they don't want to do that.
6:45 remaining in the first half. Andrew Toney with Marques Johnson all over him, and a foul is committed. That's the 4th team foul, and it'll be on Marques Johnson, his 3rd personal foul. So that presents a problem for Don Nelson, with so much time remaining in the second period, to have Marques Johnson, who's developing now as a key performer, with 3 fouls. Toney inside misses the shot. Lanier trying to keep it alive, and we have another Milwaukee foul inside. I think it is on Bob Lanier, and that'll put Milwaukee over the limit in fouls. Lanier commits his first, but Milwaukee's 15th foul, and they'll go to the line to shoot one in the penalty. And
I think Bob Lanier thought it was the other way around.
Does it matter?
It does. Because if he can convince the referee by his action that the referee might have made a mistake, the next time that a similar play comes up, it may not be the same result.
You're trying to say they psych out a little bit out there?
Well, that works. That's part of the game.
I know that.
That's part of the game. The veteran players, the smart players do that.
That was 40% of your game.
Well, 28.
Caldwell Jones, the leading free throw shooter on the 76ers this year at 81.7%. Philadelphia by 3. They've had 6 ties and 4 lead changes so far in this first half. Erving on Mickey Johnson. Marques guarded by Bantam. Clint Richardson the rebound. Philadelphia running. Erving behind his back. And Bob Lanier commits the foul, and that will be Lanier's 2nd. And they'll go to the line. Erving will shoot. Boy, it's tough to stop Julius Erving when he puts a move like that on.
Here comes there's Lanier. Yeah, he's still moving. You have to hold that position.
All right, 6:11 to go. The crowd does not like that 2nd straight foul on Bob Lanier. The Sixers leading in the series 2-1 and leading in the game by 3. We're back, and it's 41-38 as you look at Sidney Moncrief. Now, Bob Lanier, who's picked up 2 fouls in the game, coming back from knee surgery to play in more games this year than he did in 7 years, has accepted a new role as more of a playmaker, an intelligent player to set picks. He's 0 for 4, does not score in the game, but he has 3 rebounds and 3 assists to reflect the new role that Lanier has taken on the last couple of years.
You know, Dick, a minute ago we talked about psychology.
Julius Erving.
The game will always be 80 to 90% physical. You have to be able to go out and do things. And the psychology and intelligence is telling your body what is the correct thing to do. And sometimes it's just a look or the way you walk even.
Matching the biggest lead of the ball game, and their hands folded. The Milwaukee crowd awfully quiet right now, but we have 6 minutes remaining in the second period. Julius Erving, the reigning MVP of the National Basketball Association this year. Moncrief and a foul. We have a foul inside. It's against Philadelphia. 4th team foul against the Sixers, and the foul is on Caldwell Jones, his first personal foul.
Now here's Bob Lanier trying to get position. And that didn't seem like a whole lot of contact.
Back to live action. Moncrief misses. Caldwell Jones off his hands. Moncrief follows up. Milwaukee had it. Philadelphia on the line. Caldwell Jones on the line. Gives it up back to Milwaukee. In Washington, the Bullets are up by 4 in the second period, trying to even that best-of-7 semifinal at 2 apiece. Marques Johnson, top of the key, driving against Mike Bannon, changing hands. Rebound taken out by Julius Erving. He's got Richardson on his right, Toney on his left. Andrew going up. Beautiful play by Toney.
Andrew Toney.
Balanced scoring for Philadelphia. 8 different Sixers have scored. And 8 is the leading scorer with Cheeks and Julius Erving. Milwaukee's leading scorer is Marques Johnson with 10. Here's Mickey Johnson. Good move. He has accepted his role to the bench for this playoff, even though he started most of the year at power forward.
Milwaukee's not shooting very well right now. And they're in an in-between place where they're not at their rhythm and they're not at the Sixers rhythm.
Julius Erving has the shot blocked by Mickey Johnson. And taken on outside by Andrew Toney with 4:42 to go. Toney banks it. Caldwell Jones, foul going in. Mickey Johnson had blocked the first shot.
Now here's the other block. Julius goes inside, gives Marques a good move, gets it in there. Mickey Johnson blocks it, and Andrew Toney comes up with it.
So Caldwell Jones go to the line, and Brian Winters foul, his 3rd personal. And once again, Caldwell Jones, the best free throw shooter for the Sixers, could give him or match the biggest lead Philadelphia's had.
Now, one of the reasons Milwaukee's not shooting so well is that the Philadelphia defense has thrown them a little bit off tempo.
There's Bobby Jones.
And he's not going to help.
Good two-way player. Philadelphia 10 of 11 from the free throw line, with Caldwell having 1 more. Caldwell Jones, and making 11 out of 12 from the line. 47 to 40. Philadelphia moved out to their biggest lead here in the second period with 4:25 remaining in the second period. Sixers, they win, will have a 3-1 lead and take back to Philadelphia. On the switch, Bannon is on Winters. Toney on Marques Johnson, and Winters goes in and gets the basket. Winters went to the hoop against Mike Bannon. He has 10 points. Bobby Jones takes it inside. Caldwell Jones has hit 2 and now 3 from outside. And that's been a big boost for Philadelphia. He has 10 points now.
Normally you would expect that from Dawkins.
Marques Johnson follows his way to the hoop. Now they're trading baskets, but as Bill has said, it's a Philadelphia kind of pace.
It's definitely up-tempo.
Marques Johnson, 6 of 10 from the field, has 12 points. Don Nelson, second highest winning percentage among active coaches. If you want to see the highest winning percentage, it's right down the floor at Billy Cunningham's side. Missing is Toney. Richardson, again, blocked by Lanier, and a foul inside. Loose ball foul against Caldwell Jones of Philadelphia, and Pat Cummings coming into the ball game. Defensive switch, very important here.
And Bannon picks up Brian Winters and makes him change direction. And there...
Well, Jones helped out, but Winters just put up a tough shot, impossible to stop. Both Cheeks back in the ball game and replacing Andrew Toney, who goes out with 6 points. And Toney really hasn't gotten underway yet in the ball game, 3 for 9. And Robert Smith checks in for Milwaukee, so Robert Smith comes in to watch Mo Cheeks as the matchups continue. Smith on the left, Cheeks on the right. And Moncrief with 1, with 3:38 to play in the half.
And at this point of the game so far, Don Nelson has been a reaction coach. He's reacting to the guys that Philadelphia has out there. And that can either help or hurt. It's a really thin line you have to walk.
Cut it to 3. It was 7. Don Nelson, 4 playoff years and 6 seasons as head coach of Milwaukee. Caldwell Jones is 4 for 4 from the field and has 12 points in the game. So Philadelphia getting scoring output from an unexpected source. 5-point lead, 3:10 to go, first half. NBA playoff action at its best on CBS, and another game to follow. Marques Johnson gets the foul, and Bobby Jones fouls it.
Bobby Jones.
Second on Bobby.
I'll tell you one thing, you will find easy shots very rarely against this Philadelphia team because they switch outstandingly. But what they try to do is avoid switches when they can.
Can you sense the urgency of this ball game even at this stage? I can.
Oh yes, these teams know that they're in. That this is a key game. That you not only do you have to win it, but if you don't win it, you have to make it such a tough ball game that they don't say, well, we beat them easy. They remember it.
They say obviously in the playoffs, all games are key in a 4 out of 7. But as Bill mentioned at the top, Philadelphia doesn't want to go back home 2-2, knowing that the pressure is on them to win at home. And if they don't win at home, they got to come back to Milwaukee. They know what happens when they have a 3-1 lead. The Celtics series, Exhibit A. And of course, Milwaukee can't fall behind 3-1 with their injury problems because they're outmanned right now as it is. 17 seconds. As you look at
Quinn Buckner.
That's right. The fractured right thumb, the point guard, and a good defensive guard for Milwaukee. On the bench, along with Junior Bridges. Cheeks into Bantam. Whistle. We have a loose ball foul. Elbow.
On Marques Johnson.
4 on Marques Johnson. 4 fouls on Johnson, and he's going to have to come out of the ball game. And Scott May will get the call from Don Nelson right now. So the former Indiana All-American and the second-round draft choice from Chicago after the free throws of the next dead ball now will come in for Marques Johnson, who has scored 13 points.
Marques Johnson.
You know, now this really creates a problem for the Bucks because Marques does as good a job on Julius as anyone in the league, I would think.
Yes. Yesterday was prime example. All right, Robert Smith with the ball, watched by Cheeks. Pat Cummings. Pretty good outside shooter. 3 for 7 so far in this playoff. Missed his 1 shot yesterday, and this is his first shot today. 2:25 to go, opening half. Cheeks controlling it for Philadelphia. Up by 5. Bantam going low to Caldwell Jones, and they had a switch. Scott May was on Caldwell Jones. Cummings gets it to Sidney Moncrief. Robert Smith. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Tough pass by Smith, almost dangerous. Scott May hits outside.
And when he was at Indiana, he never missed that shot.
Averaged 9 on the season, did Scott May, but was 3 for 14 from the field coming into this game. Don Nelson was surprised that May really hadn't given confident play coming into this game, but he needs him in this game, and so far Scott May has been equal to the task.
Now, what both teams want to do in the last minute and 49 seconds of this game is to be careful. Not let one team run off 6 or 8 points. And then both these teams are capable of that, especially Philadelphia. So I guess you would say that Milwaukee has to be careful and make sure that when they work the offense, that they get everyone involved in it. Because when you get everyone involved in the offense, everyone in the defense has to be involved. And that in itself will reduce the number of fast breaks.
Dick Stockton and Bill Russell reminding you that coming up at halftime, we will have a feature with Boom Boom Mancini and Arturo Frias, who will be going at it next Saturday on CBS Sports Saturday, and that should be quite a bout. And a rebound feature with former NBA great backcourt performer Slater Martin, who played with the Minneapolis Lakers and the St. Louis Hawks. And, of course, news and highlights of the day in sports, and you'll get all of that from Brent Musburger at the CBS Sports Desk. Boston and Washington in the other Eastern semifinal now, and Washington is up by 5 points in the second period. The Celtics are leading 2-1.
And Slater Martin was one of the first players to be on championship teams for two different teams.
Right. Lakers and Hawks.
Right.
And that was a Hawk team that beat you, Mr. Russell.
And that's why I remember it. That's the reason I remember, Dick.
I was thinking now, you lost 2 series. Now, you won 11 championships, 13 years. You lost to Philadelphia in '67 in an Eastern game, Eastern playoff, and to St. Louis in a 7-game series.
Right. In the finals.
You won a lot of games.
My team won a lot of games.
Well put, Mr. R. 52-49. Philadelphia's lead is 3, knocked away, and it's still 76ers ball.
Good, strong defense there. But that's the way you have to play that ball. You can't let the ball get to the intended target.
Philadelphia.
Then the only way you can stop it is foul.
Philadelphia leading despite the fact that Erving is 3 for 10, Toney 3 for 9. Boy, where would they be without that man? Caldwell Jones is 5 for 6 from the field, has hit 5 outside shots.
He says, what's the record in this place?
Shooting remains even. Caldwell Jones, who led rebounding with 6 yesterday and is having a terrific playoff series, giving Philadelphia that extra boost with those pops from outside. 1:10 to go. May misses a layup inside. And traveling in with Caldwell Jones, and Milwaukee will have another chance to move within 3.
Now, that was good defense by Caldwell Jones, because
intimidation.
The phantom or the intimidation defense is just as good as blocking the shot. You get the same result.
Mickey Johnson inbounds to Moncrief. He's guarded by Clint Richardson, or I should say Moncrief guarded by Clint. High post is Pat Cummings with Caldwell Jones. Open inside. Robert Smith trying to come around to pick. He's at the top of the 3-point circle now. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Moncrief double teamed in trouble over Erving. And Bobby Jones gets it. A 3-on-1 break. Julius and no cheeks. And the trailer is Caldwell Jones, who has scored 16 points to lead all
That's
scorers.
the thing they didn't want to happen. The 2 quick baskets there.
Matching the biggest lead of the game for Philadelphia. 7 as you look at the final seconds. 15 on the shot clock. 9 on the shot clock. And it was last touch by Moncrief, said Wally Rooney, and Philadelphia has a chance to
Milwaukee is not executing their plays very well.
have their biggest lead of the ball game. 76ers running the game, trying to take a 3-1 lead, and with the buzzer, Caldwell Jones misses. Well, you can't blame Caldwell Jones. He scored 14 points this period and has 16 points in the first half to lead all the scorers. And we'll be back a little later on to talk about the statistics and the flow of the ball game, which clearly, Russ, right now is in the hands of Philadelphia.
Right, because they did exactly what I thought that Milwaukee shouldn't let them do. End up getting 4 or 6 points just before the half ends. Now, they have now, for a greater part of the game, had control of tempo. And the score of 7 points is a bigger lead than it would appear at this point, because of the way the game is being played.
All right, so we're at halftime. Brent Musburger will be back with a rebound feature, and the feature on Boom Boom Mancini and Arturo Frias, plus other scores and highlights. And Brent Musburger will take it out of this commercial from New York. Lanier, who has 2 personal fouls and 7 points, the 12-year veteran from St. Bonaventure, original Piston, and trying to get in the finals. And Dawkins, who started the game with 3, or started the second half with 3 personal fouls. Julius Erving couldn't hit the alley-oop shot inside, and Mickey Johnson cradles the ball. Milwaukee has it, trailing by 7. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell here at the Milwaukee Arena, and we expect 24 big minutes of basketball. here in the second half. Alton Lister, 53, starting against Caldwell Jones. Mickey Johnson is starting as well. So that means Marques Johnson, with 4 personals, does not start the second half. And the leading scorer for the Bucks at 13. Cheeks controlling, Winters on him. Toney guarded by Moncrief. Dawkins. Mickey Johnson and Lanier doubling on Dawkins. Darryl Dawkins hits the shot. Biggest lead of the game right now for Philadelphia is 9 points. Crowd trying to turn on the Bucks. Marques on the bench. Whistle. Andrew Toney was bumping Moncrief and would not allow Moncrief to get to the hoop. So Toney has his 3rd foul.
Now Milwaukee's going to have to get some good shots because they haven't got any good shots the last 2 minutes of the first half, and so far they haven't got any good shots. They're going to have to get some good shots that they can make.
Julius starts out on Mickey. Moncrief is posting Toney up, which means playing him inside toward the basket. Lanier has the shot rejected, and goaltending is called against Caldwell Jones. Bob Lanier, 1 for 5 now from the field. He gets credit for the hoop.
Now here's the shot. Lanier shoots, and we can't really tell from that angle whether it's on the way down or not, but
I'll go with the
it
rest.
doesn't make any difference. He got the 2.
Toney.
And it's, you know, it's easy thing to say that they should go inside and get the shots, but it's not as easy to go inside and get the shots.
Cheeks hits from the corner. Maurice Cheeks now with 10 points.
Especially if the team is good as Philadelphia, but Milwaukee is going to have to go inside. They got to get shots from the paint or the 3-second run.
9-point lead.
And that's where they're going to have to get him. Now they're sending some inside picks and back picks inside there. A back pick is when you come up behind a guy and just almost hold him so he can't get to the hoop.
Look at that one.
Can't get to his defensive man.
Erving misses outside. And the rebound, Alton Lister to Brian Winters. Philadelphia is back, and Winters gets a 3-point attempt. And a basket counts, and a great move by Brian Winters, holding the basketball while he was in midair, timing on that basket as Toney has 2 fouls, 4 in the ball game.
Now here's Lanier, and there's the outline pass by Alton Lister. He thinks he's a doctor.
Well, the rookie had a fine pass, and he found Winters, which wasn't easy. So a timeout. Philadelphia's lead cut to 5. We'll be back. Caldwell Jones, one of the top defensive standouts in the league. The all-time Philadelphia defensive rebounder is doing it on offense in this game. What an all-round performance by Caldwell Jones.
You know, great teams are like great players. As we said earlier, they have abilities that when necessary, they call upon it. Now, Caldwell Jones didn't pick up the ability to shoot overnight. He has had his ability all the time, and now is a time that's called for. And the good players know when to use these things.
6 for 8 from the field is Caldwell Jones. Meanwhile, Brian Winters makes good on the 3-point play, has 13 points. 4-point lead for Philadelphia. They have the ball. Only into the opening minutes of this 3rd quarter. Nick Stockton and Bill Russell from the sold-out Milwaukee Arena. Julius. Caldwell Jones, and it counts. And you want to see the value Julius Erving has. Even though he has 8 points, they crowded around him. He found the open man, Caldwell Jones, who's been hot in the game. 6 assists for the Doctor. Three minutes gone by, 3rd period. Lanier guarded by Caldwell Jones, who was 9th in the league in block shots this year. On the ground is Mickey Johnson, and it'll be a foul.
And Mickey Johnson feels like a pinball because he ran into Darryl Dawkins there, and Darryl didn't even know he hit him. He said, "What are you talking about?"
Darryl Dawkins foul. That's his 4th personal foul, and Bobby Jones will have to come in. Dawkins has scored 7 points. And rebounding-wise, as we told you, been out-rebounded by Cheeks yesterday. Only has 2 boards as Bobby Jones comes back in.
And we'll see if Don Nelson would choose to leave the rookie in with Bobby Jones in there now.
Mickey Johnson normally would be the man on Bobby Jones. He doesn't want Lister on him. Just not quick enough. Doesn't have the savvy. Lanier fires up a shot off. And here comes Julius Erving. Philadelphia running. Cheeks back to the doctor. Jones picked up by Winters and a foul by Winters. And apparently Don Nelson's going to go with Lister. Nelson's going with the rookie from Arizona State. Well, let's see how he matches up. Winters has his 4th personal foul. So Marques Johnson and Winters have 4 for Milwaukee. Toney and Dawkins 4 for the Sixers. And Clint Richardson goes inside.
Brian Winters was double teaming on Julius Erving, so Clint Richardson did the next best thing. He went under the basket. And because he knows with a great pass like Julius, he'll get the ball.
Sixers by 8. 8:10 to go, 3rd period. Lister off his hand.
And Milwaukee is out of rhythm.
Philadelphia in rhythm. They can play the half-court game. Bobby Jones has his shot blocked by Mickey Johnson. Lister comes out. Outlet to Moncrief. Philly back on the D, as you see. A sea of red shirts. Lister low to Mickey Johnson. Blocked by Caldwell Jones. Moncrief. He gets fouled. Cheeks got hit in the eye, as you see. And it's getting hot and heavy now, inside and outside.
There was a lot of contact on that last sequence.
Al Domenico with Cheeks. Let's see the action inside.
Here's the pass into Mickey Johnson. There's a block, and there he got hit by his own man, Caldwell Jones, looks like.
Right eye, or top of the right eye. Moncrief will go to the line and shoot 2. 2 for 9 from the field. Is Sidney. Lister goes to the bench, and Bob Lanier is out there with Marques Johnson. So Marques Johnson with 4 fouls is playing. Mickey Johnson makes up the other 4.
He has to play with 4 fouls.
It's now or never. 7:35 to go. Julius and Marques Johnson. 2 outstanding forwards, and yesterday it was Marques' turn to stop Julius. Caldwell Jones. What a game for Caldwell Jones. He has 20 points and 8 for 10 from the field, and virtually all of those shots coming from way outside. 8-point Philadelphia lead. 7:10 to go. Second half of the doubleheader. LA at Phoenix. Lakers trying to wrap it up in 4 straight. Some of you will see Seattle and San Antonio. Lakers in offensive foul against Bob Lanier. So Lanier has picked up his 3rd foul. Team fouls right now. The Sixers have 4, and the Milwaukee Bucks 1. Julius Erving is only 3 for 12 from the field, but he is leading the game in rebounds with 7 and in assists with 8. Just in case you're wondering if Doc is doing anything out there. Look at that pass back to Cheeks. No basket and a foul before. It's on Marques Johnson, I think. No, it wasn't. It was on Winters. Marques holding his breath. Winters has his 5th foul, though. Brian Winters has 5 fouls. And one thing Don Nelson needs less than anything else is foul trouble with a team that's already crippled to injury. We'll be back. 6-0 in favor of Boston, but a lot of those games were close. In Washington, a great story. Let's see the play here.
Now, this play here shows you one thing, that if you're going to play good defense, sometimes you must pay. He picked up the 10 pin with that one.
Sure did. 6:50 remaining, 3rd period. Philadelphia by 8, and they have the ball. They can establish the biggest lead of the ball game if they can get a basket here. Julius Erving has been remarkable in finding other teammates, but he can't seem to find the mark. And Clint Richardson comes out with it. 3rd year from Seattle, and the 3rd guard. Erving, offensive foul. Julius Erving, 2nd personal foul.
Now, what was originally a bad defensive play by Scott May because he let Julius get too deep. He turned it around, held good position, and do the offensive foul. See, sometimes you don't do what you'd like to do, but when you get in that situation, you have to adjust to it.
Milwaukee trying to get back their rhythm and get back in the game. They're trailing 2-1 in the best-of-7 series. Marques Johnson can't prevent the ball from getting away.
And Bob Lanier missed a marvelous opportunity to get the ball into Sidney Moncrief because he was wide open.
Milwaukee not playing well right now. Philadelphia, with half of the third period remaining, trying to move out to a bigger lead. 76ers playing their best basketball in the last year and a half, according to Don Nelson. Bobby Jones tried that extra pass inside to Caldwell Jones. Marques Johnson playing with 4 fouls behind to Scott May, but couldn't hold it. They have to set it up. Lanier, Moncrief. Still Milwaukee ball. Marques Johnson on Julius Erving right here.
Yes, he's trying to keep.
Oh, that's Mickey
Johnson on
Marques.
Julius. He's trying to hold a position to make sure that he doesn't get the ball.
Back to live action. Lanier's shot is blocked inside, and here comes a Philadelphia break, and Julius comes through. Look how quick he caught that pass and put it through the hoop. 10 points for Julius Erving, and that's what he wound up with yesterday. And the biggest lead in the ball game, 10 points right now for Philadelphia with 5:15 to go. Milwaukee with Don Nelson standing in, Bill Cunningham down. The Bucks, if they trail 3-1, will be just about through. Considering the loss of Buckner and Bridgman and a foul inside, a loose ball foul is called against Caldwell Jones, his 4th, and Pat Cummings will come into the ball game now.
That's his 4th personal.
4 personal fouls on Caldwell Jones, who's the game-high scorer with 20.
And Pat Cummings will come in for Bob Lanier.
Why is he nicknamed Roadblock?
Roadblock because he sets picks that the other teams remember for days at a time.
Oh, I get it. Bob Lanier goes out of the ball game with only 4 points and 3 personal fouls, 2 for 8 from the field. Here's Scott May. Actually, Don Nelson only thought of him as a fill-in when he came up acquired from Chicago, but started a lot when Bridgman went out earlier in the year. 9-point game, under 5 minutes to play. 3rd period, Bobby Jones throws it away. Erving couldn't get over that.
Good defensive reaction by the Milwaukee Bucks on that sequence. Bob Lanier and Quinn Buckner.
53,
Darryl Dawkins is coming back in the ball game, and he is playing with 4 personal fouls. Dawkins with 7 points. Dawkins mostly needed for his defensive rebounding as well as offense, but hasn't done the job off the glass at all.
Now, Philadelphia is not a good rebounding team, and one of the reasons is, you see where Dawkins is down outside?
Tipped up and in. Basket count.
Because they have to switch and play defense on the floor, it is difficult for a guy to be an outstanding rebounder on a team like Philadelphia.
Credit the basket to Marques Johnson, who has 15 points on the tip-in. And a timeout called for by Billy Cunningham in Philadelphia, 68-61. Milwaukee trailing. Now, 3 of the last 4 years, they've gone to 7 games in the playoffs and lost the 7th game. And they're trying to right now. And another big championship fight coming your way next Saturday on CBS Sports. Team shooting so far in this ball game. Moncrief is 2 for 11. Lanier 2 for 8. They're 4 for 19. As you look at Milwaukee not shooting well, in all fairness to Sidney Moncrief, he has had a sore knee and has played a lot of minutes this year because of the various injuries. Moncrief has been a gem and an all-star. Philadelphia with the ball, the crowd urging him on. Bannon throws up an air ball. 4:10 to go, 7-point Philly lead, and a foul. It's on Bobby Jones. Philadelphia over the limit, and Milwaukee will go to the line.
Now, this is a very important sequence for Milwaukee. It's a 7-point in this type of game is a big lead. Now, they've got to get something going, but the most important thing is they have got to get their tempo. They're not executing well at all, and when you don't execute well, most of the time you will not shoot well.
Moncrief, the hero in yesterday's game, with that shot off the glass with 1 second remaining, had 20 points and is averaging 17 for the series against the Sixers. team leader, remarkably versatile, as we told you. That is scoring.
Shooting is rhythm. If you don't have that, no matter who you are, you're not going to be a good shooter.
Dawkins gets inside on a good feed. So Darryl Dawkins.
Now, Philadelphia's doing what Milwaukee should do. Get inside. Try to get inside, and you get the easy shot on the free throw.
3:45 remaining in the third period. Milwaukee's season could be hinging, even though they won't face elimination today. Marques Johnson goes up with a fine move inside.
And one of the reasons that Milwaukee does not have the good rhythm is they have an unfamiliar lineup. The players that have not played together a lot will not run the plays as well.
17 points for Marques Johnson. Pat Cummings is guarding Darryl Dawkins. And he's in there. Cummings the rebound. Here come the Bucks. And a bad pass by Cummings when Milwaukee was starting to come back down by 5.
Now here's Marques Johnson, how he got inside to get gets the high pass, gives it a fake, stops the shot blockers, and then puts it up.
Cummings on Dawkins. They will go to Darryl if they can. That's a matchup Don Nelson didn't want to see. Cummings and Dawkins. So we may watch play to Darryl as Bob Lanier waits on the bench. Lanier has 3 personal fouls, and Cummings commits the personal, his first. Team foul number 3 on Milwaukee. Under 3 minutes to play, third period. 5-point Philadelphia lead. Milwaukee can't afford to be down 3-1, and Philadelphia passing the ball well. Bobby Jones with 8 points. Leading scorers, Caldwell Jones with 20 for Philadelphia. Marques Johnson 17 for the Bucks.
And one of the things about an unfamiliar lineup, your defense breaks down much quicker than your offense breaks down.
Moncrief and traffic tipped up. And Clint Richardson, who can muscle inside with the best of them as a guard, to Moncrief, into Darryl Dawkins. And the slam dunk attempt goes high into the air, but we have a Milwaukee foul anyway.
You can see he chipped the paint with that one. Now here's Darryl Dawkins is free. He goes up to dunk it. He's a little far away, he has to throw it, and
second foul on Cummings, and the 4th team foul, Dawkins. Darryl Dawkins this year shot less than 70% from the free throw line. He misses both. Whose ball? Philadelphia ball. Mo Cheeks with great hustle going after it along with Sidney Moncrief. There they are, Cummings and Dawkins, who's playing now with 4 fouls, has 9 points.
Milwaukee should have come up with that rebound on the missed free throw. There's no excuse ever to let a guy get unless it's a freak shot that hits the back rim and fouls all the way back to the free throw line. And even then you should get it.
Bob Lanier getting ready to come back in the ball game. Dawkins gets inside, can't find it, and a foul. It's a Philadelphia foul, loose ball.
On Bobby Jones, because he had the ball taken away, he tried to get it back.
4 on Jones. Lanier's coming back, and the crowd is getting a bit excited now. So Lanier has his brilliant career. 8th All-Star appearance this year for Bob Lanier, and for Julius Erving coming into the ball game, a 6-time All-Star in 6 NBA years with Philadelphia, and a 6-time Sixers scoring leader, and he was 5th in the league scoring tally this year. So Mickey Johnson shooting. He had 28 in game 1, 19 in game 2, and Mickey has 11 points with 7 rebounds and 5 assists in game 3. 5-point Philadelphia lead, and 1 point was 10. Under 2 minutes, a third. Phantom finds Erving. Great pass.
And he finds the hoop quite easily.
12 for Julius. Milwaukee cannot stop Philadelphia's quick passing and inside game, as Bill mentioned.
Well, what happens is a guy like Julius will pass that ball until you adjust to his passing, and then he'll kill you with his shots.
Wide open, Mickey Johnson. He hits. And a foul. A loose ball foul. has been called against Scott May of the Milwaukee Bucks. So the basket counts by Mickey Johnson. And now the Boston Celtics have forged back into a tie at 75 in the fourth period, trying to make it 3-1. Washington trying to tie it at 2 apiece. Julius and Billy Cunningham. And Lanier.
Dave Wall. He's talking to one of the assistants.
Used to play with Philadelphia. Played his college ball at the University of Pennsylvania. Gary St. Jean, another coach. And of course, John Killalay, the chief lieutenant to Don Nelson. Bantam. Ninth year from St. Joseph's. Done a fine job. He's helped Julius Erving be fresh for the playoffs with his play during the regular season. 6 points for Mike. 1:25 to go in the third. 6-point Philadelphia lead. Marques Johnson is playing a guard position right now, as we thought he would. Did not play that spot yesterday. Scott May. Dawkins picks up Scott May on a switch. And they can't get the shot off. The 24-second clock winds down.
And again, Philadelphia played good defense out on the floor. The good lateral defense. That no matter where you go, there's a man between you and where you want to go.
Amazingly enough, as you look at the two coaches, Milwaukee has turned the ball over only 4 times in the entire first half, but 5 now in this third period. Under a minute to play in the third. 6-point lead, Julius Erving. In and out outside. Lanier fighting and losing the battle of Bantam. Goes up without it.
And Milwaukee can't come up with anything.
Sixers ball.
Although the Sixers didn't score, and they had 2 good opportunities, but Milwaukee still came up empty-handed. They didn't come up with the ball.
Julius can't buy an outside shot. I was going to say he has 12 points. 5 for 16 from the field. 38 seconds, but 16 on the shot clock. 6-point lead. Milwaukee trailing 2-1, best of 7. Philadelphia will be home for Game 5 this week. 5 seconds and a 3-second violation. Well, they've committed a lot of those. Don Nelson signals the play. 25 seconds, and Milwaukee can have the last shot at the hoop here in the third quarter. Yesterday was 92-91 Milwaukee on Moncrief shot. He has the ball right now. We're in the third period.
And they could really use a basket in the third quarter.
8 seconds to play. May has a pick from Lanier. Goes into Bob Lanier, who goes in and gets the basket with 1 second. And that'll do it. And that's the big basket you talked about. Here's the crowd. They love it. The end of the third period with the score, the Sixers 75, Milwaukee 71, and we'll be back with the start of the fourth period after this word from your local station. 7, 8, 9. We anticipate a big fourth period. Milwaukee's 10-point lead has been shaved to 4. And Bill Russell, we had a thriller yesterday. We may have the same thing again. I don't know. It's 2-1 the series right now. What do you think are the keys to watch in the final period of the game?
Well, at this point, as the quarter ended, Milwaukee was on a roll. Now they're going to have to control the tempo and make sure that Philadelphia doesn't get a sequence where they get 3 or 4 quick hoops. Right now, it's anybody's ball game. Now, it's really willpower now. Which team will dictate to the other team?
76ers held under 20 for the first time in the ball game in the third period. As we start the fourth, Nick Stockton and Bill Russell at the Milwaukee Arena. Don't forget the MVP award announced at the end of the game. Scott May. Rebound, Julius Erving. And looks like a man possessed with that rebound. Philadelphia. Clint Richardson finding Mike Bantam. Scott May the rebound. Milwaukee and running. And a bad pass by Scott May, and it turns it over to Philadelphia.
And that's just what Milwaukee doesn't want to do. Now, they got into a running game, and with this makeshift group, they should not get into a running game because that really amplified the mistakes.
Key man, maybe Clint Richardson, very quietly, has had a sensational series in the minutes he's played. Bantam misses the hook shot. Richardson has 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in this game. We'll watch the third-year man from Seattle because as the third guard, he's been important. Lanier, Moncrief, Toney ran into him.
And Toney thinks he's in the belfry because his bell was rung on that sequence. I mean, he got it.
Was that a blind shot when he ran into him? Had to be the way they hit.
Dawkins should have told him, here he comes. So, because here comes Lanier, and he's turned right there, and there, you can't see it, but
he
Toney...
didn't tell him.
No, Dawkins didn't say there's a pick coming. You got to tell the guy. See, that now this guy, he might not even know where he is right now.
Toney has his 5th personal foul, has scored only 6 points in the ball game, well below his playoff average of 25 in this series. Mickey Johnson now with 16 points in the game and a 2-point Philadelphia lead early in the 4th period. Bobby Jones makes it 4 in. Bobby Jones in double figures. Marques Johnson playing at guard. Clint Richardson is guarding him. Let's watch what Clint does against Martin. Can't hit 2 in a row, and Julius Erving in an open court. Here he comes. Cheeks. Pull up. Hit it.
You have to stop the ball. You can't leave the ball. Now, they didn't react well on that fast break. And the tempo is up too fast for Milwaukee's purposes.
Philadelphia running and scoring. They've opened up a 6-point lead, and Mo Cheeks 6 for 8 from the field. A timeout with less than 2 minutes gone by in this 4th period, and Philadelphia leading by 6. If you want to look at a team that is playing at the top of their game, check the Los Angeles Lakers. Most of you will see the Lakers try to sweep the Suns. They lead 3-0 in their best-of-7 semifinal out west. That'll follow our game for most of you. And some of you will see the Seattle Supersonics try to get even with the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio's Hemisphere Arena. Jim Fitzgerald.
No, that's Bob Lanier.
Yeah, I know. Jim Fitzgerald, the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. We're glad to see he's all right, recovering from a heart attack and looking chipper. Scott May.
Caldwell Jones intimidated because he had an opening to the basket and he didn't challenge
Marques
him.
Johnson going in and no basket. It's the other way. Don Nelson goes wild at the bench and a foul call against the Bucks. John Killalay, the assistant to Don Nelson, looking on. Lanier, fourth on Bob Lanier, and Nelson, who is not as calm as he looks most of the time. Doesn't even look calm. Bobby Jones. Out to Cheeks. He's hit 6 of 8. Julius Erving goes to the baseline. Mickey Johnson.
And the double team is there, and they leave it Maurice Cheeks.
Clint Richardson against Marques Johnson. Fired one up. And Caldwell Jones keeps the ball for Philadelphia.
Julius Erving kept it alive.
Bobby Jones crossed the lane, and Philadelphia 81-73. Jones is 5 for 6 and 6 points in a row for Philadelphia. Milwaukee had cut it to 2.
And that's just the thing that Milwaukee couldn't afford.
Moncrief. Cheeks. Can't do it. And down at the other end is Moncrief and Caldwell Jones, who hurt his hand. Caldwell Jones has an injured hand, and a timeout is called. A 20-second injury timeout. Watch Caldwell Jones in front of the Philadelphia bench is in obvious pain, holding his right wrist. He's holding his wrist hurt.
There's where he hurt it. He fell on it right there. And he and Sidney Moncrief both had a lot of contact there. And so but he's obviously hurt. It looks like he's got he hurt his right wrist. It's hard to tell how serious it is, though. But it seems like it's an awful lot of pain.
He's shooting 8 for 10 from the field, a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. 20 points and 6 rebounds. And of course, with 20 points, he has tied his season's high for points. But we don't know whether Caldwell Jones will come back as the ice packs are on the wrist. So coming in, Darryl Dawkins, who has 4 fouls, 9 points. Lanier is on Dawkins. Mickey Johnson on Bobby Jones. Marques Johnson trying to overplay Clint Richardson. 2-man game, Dawkins and Clint. Erving with 4 seconds on the clock. Boy, did he go through that maze. Did he zip through, and Philadelphia matches their biggest lead of the game. They've scored 8 straight points. Moncrief with a good move against Bobby Jones. And Dawkins loses it out of bounds. Milwaukee ball. 8:21 on the clock. And now they say it's Philadelphia ball.
Bob Lanier did knock the ball loose.
What's right is right.
And Philadelphia is in control.
Sixers haven't won their last 6 here. Bobby Jones short. For Julius Erving. I want to tell you something.
And that fouls on Julius Erving.
No wonder. The way Julius Erving is playing under both boards, he is a ferocious tiger, going to the full extension on both boards in the second half of this game.
It's almost like this game he's changed areas of duty with Caldwell Jones. As Caldwell Jones gets to 20 points and he gets the rebounds.
9 rebounds for Julius, game high, and a foul.
And 2 in a row. 2 fouls in a row on Julius Erving.
Now, team foul story. Philadelphia has 3. Milwaukee yet to pick up a team foul.
Now, they're going to have to capitalize on this if they're going to get back in the ball game.
And they better do it soon. 10-point lead. Lanier. Good shot by Lanier. Waited to the last minute to release it. He has 8 points in the ball game, but they can count on him down the stretch. 8-point lead. 83-75, Philadelphia. Julius inside. He has had rough luck, but Bobby Jones gets it back, and Julius goes up and is fouled by Bob Lanier.
And Lanier almost had the rebound, and this can come around with control of it.
Talk about
They're coming up empty-handed a little too much. When Philadelphia misses, and they have a chance to get the ball and come out and get something, they're coming up empty a little too much.
But you know, Milwaukee giving up opportunities by losing the ball in their end of the court.
That's what I mean, and that was just another example of it.
Foul trouble in the ball game. Winners in Lanier with Milwaukee. Toney of Philadelphia with 5, and 4 others have 4 personal. Philadelphia won the first game of the series by 3. The second game by 12. Milwaukee on that last second shot by Moncrief won yesterday's third game. 9-point Philadelphia lead, 7:15 remaining, 4th period.
I think one thing that has happened to the Bucks also is that their substitution pattern has been so erratic that it's hard for them to get a rhythm.
Lanier threw it up to draw the foul and got the job done. Dawkins winds up down on the court, and that's his 5th foul.
And he fouled him with an incisor. Don't you call it an incisor, Chief?
Yes. 5 fouls on Dawkins.
He says, I didn't foul him with my front teeth, did I?
Claiming he was hit with an elbow. That's 14 fouls on Philadelphia. The Bucks have just 1. On the line is Lanier. Lanier went into this game 7 for 16 from the free throw line. Milwaukee was horrendous from the line the first 2 games, but yesterday they were sharp. 1-2. The Lanier slump from the free throw line continues. That's the score. Time remaining under 7 minutes. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell from Milwaukee, where Bobby Jones comes off the pick and now has 14 points. Once again, a 10-point lead.
And Milwaukee obviously is not talking away from the ball, because they're setting picks on the weak side and freeing Bobby Jones, and that's an easy shot for him.
Marques Johnson. Bobby Jones, one of the best defensive forwards in basketball, and Marques' shot over the top.
Sixers ball.
And we'll have a timeout, and there is no question, as we have said many times, but it can't be emphasized more, that Quinn Buckner and Junior Bridgman's absence has totally upset Don Nelson's plan, because he just wrecked the matchup and the depth story. We're going to be watching that game. Spencer Haywood, comeback player of the year. I would think he should win that award. A lot of candidates, but Spencer Haywood may be the longest comeback, considering coming all the way back from Europe. All right, right here, 6:25 to go, fourth period. And Clint Richardson misses outside. Marques Johnson rebound. Milwaukee won 55 games in the regular year. The Sixers 58. Second best record in the NBA to Boston. Milwaukee trying to find a combination to get him in. Tough pass by Lanier, and Marques Johnson is fouled inside. And Philadelphia now in the penalty. That's their 15th foul. And Darryl Dawkins is fouled out of the game. 6 fouls on Dawkins. He goes out with 9 points.
Now Caldwell Jones is back, and we'll see how bad that injury is. Now, was it just a sprain or what? And how effective will he be?
Dawkins had only 2 rebounds in the ball game. Dawkins fouls out with 6:08 remaining in the fourth period, and we'll be watching Caldwell Jones closely. He is the leading scorer in the ball game with 20 points. Marques hits the free throw. 18 for Marques, looking for 19 here. Milwaukee had cut the Philadelphia lead at 1.10 to 75-73. The Sixers ran off 8 in a row, and right now it's an 8-point lead.
And the difference has to be the defense from now on, because both of these teams are going to have to, their offense is going to have to come from their good defense.
They can't trade baskets.
Right, especially Milwaukee, and that doesn't help.
You know, yesterday Bobby Jones hit 13 of 17 in that fourth quarter. He has hit 8 points so far in the fourth quarter here.
10-second line violation, half-court line.
Over and back is the call. So Milwaukee
and then that's
not together right now.
There's no excuse for that one either. Going back court.
5:45 remaining, fourth period. A 10-point Philadelphia lead. Matches their largest lead of the ball game. Clint Richardson. And Marques Johnson tries for the steal. And Ed Middleton didn't see it, and Wally Rooney says it's Milwaukee ball. So Marques Johnson forced the turnover. Alert play.
Now, one of the tough things for Don Nelson as a coach has been his rhythm of substitution, because of the way guys are playing. It's been so erratic that he hasn't been able to really get a team out there that can do the things that he has to have done.
Look at Clint Richardson. We told you, quietly doing the job as third guard. Lionel Hollins, we haven't mentioned him, but he's out of action with a fractured knuckle of the little finger. Toney started the game, and Andrew is going to be coming back in. Bobby Jones clobbered. Lanier hit Bobby Jones hard on the neck. And we have had more players down on the court after various injuries than I've seen in quite some time. Lanier is fouled out of the ball game, I believe.
Now here's the play. Julius goes in, goes up, he draws the defense, and then he makes an excellent left-handed pass to Bobby Jones, and he gets Lanier up in the air, and there's the foul.
6th foul on Lanier. He fouls out of the game. Bobby Jones on the court, and Lanier is out of the ball game. Don Nelson coming over to Billy Cunningham. Make sure nothing gets out of hand. You all remember the Atlanta-Philadelphia series. And the free-for-all in that game. Or close to it. Lanier is out of the game. Let's see it again.
Now here's the pass, and Bobby Jones gives a good fake. Get Lanier up, gets him up in the air. And on the way down, he goes up, and that makes, there's the impact right there.
So Bobby Jones back to the bench, and the summary on Bob Lanier: 9 points. He shot 4 for 11 from the field, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists for the 12-year veteran from St. Bonaventure, who came over from Detroit in a deal. Been with Milwaukee 2.5 years, former #1 draft choice, 8-time All-Star, and one of the fine gentlemen of the game. But he's out of it now, and Milwaukee under a lot of pressure with 5:09 to go, trailing by 10, and faced with the situation of trailing 3-1. Unmanned as they are anyway in this best of 7 and going back to Philly for game number 5. Here's Jones.
And he's bleeding. I believe that's blood running down there. Yes, yes, because I thought I had seen some blood on the floor, but I wasn't sure that's what it was, but it is. Now, if he's able to shoot the free throws, he's got to ask himself, was it worth it to make that fake? Because if he's not able to shoot the free throws, then I think Don Nelson can pick anyone he wants to shoot the free throws.
He's going to shoot him. You saw Billy. Cunningham says he will shoot him.
Because I'm not sure. But if he doesn't shoot the free throws,
he can't stay in the game.
Right. But they changed the rules a few times.
Yeah. Obviously, you can see the problem. You could say, well, he's unable to shoot the free throws. You want to get a better free throw shooter. Well, Bobby's pretty good. Then you bring him back in the game. We're going to have a timeout. Philadelphia has 2 left. Milwaukee 2. We'll be back. All right, Bobby Jones is on the line. Philadelphia was not charged with a timeout because they were late coming out of that huddle. And so first they gave Philadelphia a timeout and then they took it away. They had a delay of game warning. So Philadelphia still has 3 timeouts remaining. Milwaukee 2 plus the 20 as Jones makes the free throw.
Yes, he can shoot free throws with the
biggest lead of the ball game right now for Philadelphia. 5 minutes to go. And the Bucks have to do it now. Mickey Johnson, Alton Lister, Brian Winters, Moncrief, and Marques Johnson. Winters misses and Cheeks comes down with it. Erving. What a pass to Cheeks. But Julius is right there. And he's traveled.
He's probably traveled.
Ball.
Down for Marques. Screen down for
They're going to watch Marques. They think Marques is going to be the man. They're going to screen for Marques, is what Cunningham's telling his team. And there's Marques Johnson coming in with 2. Well, they can't say Billy didn't warn him.
Even a warning wasn't enough for that.
10-point game. And as Bill said, you're so right, Milwaukee's got to stop Philadelphia. Defense.
And so far they haven't been able to.
Bo Cheeks hits outside. Cheeks is hot from the field, has 14 points in the ball game, 7 of 11 for Mo. 12-point lead, 4:05 to go. Winters for 3, banks it in. Brian Winters for 3 points. He was 4th in the NBA in 3-point percentage this year. And that'll come in handy.
He's going to need about 5 of those in a row.
3:51. Julius, 9 seconds on the 24-second clock. Caldwell Jones. They call a foul on Alton Lister. That's the 4th team foul on Milwaukee. Let's check. Just 3. 3 team fouls.
But they've got to stop Philadelphia a couple times. If they don't stop them, there's no way to catch up because time is starting to work against them now.
3.5 minutes to go, 4th period. Julius Erving and Marques Johnson going at it, and Dawkins foul going in. 14 fouls on Milwaukee, and they don't want that either. Mickey Johnson 3rd.
So here's the fake that Julius gives to Marques Johnson. He goes in and he gets Mickey Johnson. There's the foul, right there.
So Julius is on the line. He has 15 points, but that's not his story today. 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and he needs 1 assist for a triple-double.
A triple-double.
Yeah, double figures in rebounding, assists, and points. And Mike Banham comes in. Going out of the ball game, Bobby Jones, who has scored 18 points, 10 here in the 4th period. 11-point lead for the Sixers. Time is running out. The basket hanging is Marques Johnson, and Cunningham is livid over at the side.
Yeah, that's another one of those kind of mistakes you just can't believe your guys can make.
9-point lead, and here comes the Milwaukee trap defense. Bantam brings it across. Julius with 9 seconds on the clock. Driving in, and the basket will count, and the foul too. A big basket for Philadelphia, and who else but Julius Erving to get it. 5 on Marques Johnson. Here is how it happened.
Here's how it looks from the baseline. Up and release.
And he's got a three-point play.
And that kind of puts the old capper on there.
That's the three.
12-point Philadelphia lead. That's the time remaining. Julius Erving, 20 points. Marques Johnson can't hit it. And Julius Erving and Philadelphia in control of this ball game. Still Philadelphia ball. Washington in the fourth period leading Boston by 2. Late in the fourth period, I presume. 31 seconds to go. Exciting NBA playoff action, and we have a second game to follow. Most of you will see LA at Phoenix. Some of you, Seattle at San Antonio. 3 seconds on
Clint Richardson. They trapped him in the lane and wouldn't let him out.
Watch the holding ball. The game's not over.
Watch the holding, Paul. The game's not over. Cunningham trying to protect his forces with 2 minutes and 21 seconds now to go. Milwaukee has to score and not let Philadelphia score, and they've got to do it all in a hurry. That's not the way to do it. And there's a foul on Mickey Johnson. And it looks like the frustration and too little too late by an undermanned Milwaukee Buck team. Amazingly enough, all year long, they said if Bob Lanier's knees stay sound, we've got the depth, we've got the outside shooting, we have the speed to be a strong club. And I think in the middle of the year, people were saying the Milwaukee Bucks are the biggest secret in the league. They're the team to watch. But who counted on the injuries? Twice to Bridgman on the injured list. Quinn Buckner, the point guard. Lanier played in more games than any season in the last 7. And this is the way it winds up for Milwaukee. It's got to be a huge disappointment for Don Nelson as you look at the injured Junior Bridgman. Huge disappointment for a fine coach, your former teammate Nelson, and the good fans here in Milwaukee. 12-point lead, 2:10 to go. Philadelphia just playing terrific ball.
They are playing great, and they're not letting.
Three-point
Milwaukee.
Three-point
really
attempt
pick up
by
a rhythm.
2 3-point plays by winners, and they're going to need a lot of that. They're playing, see, whether Milwaukee is playing a rookie Lister. He's done very well this year, but this is a tough pressure moment. And Philadelphia has 5 experienced players, and that includes Bantam and Clint Richardson. Mo Cheeks, top of the key. And Clint Richardson, boy, has he done a job. You'll never know it by the box score, folks. You have to see him perform today. Rebounds, keeping the ball alive.
And he's doing things that bring the ball up and handling the ball and doing things and setting tricks that don't show up because there's no statistics for some of the things.
Clint Richardson with a shot here. So Richardson with 6 points. Nelson calls a timeout with that much time remaining. An 11-point Philadelphia lead. And time is running out. Clint Richardson, he's not going to be our MVP, but I'll tell you what, if he was our sleeper player, he'd be the guy. 8 rebounds and 5 assists, not to mention his 6 points. There's our story. Philadelphia by 11. We had a tie at the quarter at 29. Philadelphia was up by 7 at the half and 4 in the third quarter. The big run was made by Milwaukee. They scored to cut the lead to 75-73 at the start of the fourth period. But then Philadelphia ran off 8 in a row, and they haven't been headed since.
No foul on the 3.
And the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to Julius Erving. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 block shot. A fantastic all-around game. And the Miller High Life $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of the doctor, Julius Erving.
His numbers changed from yesterday. His game didn't change a lot. They kept the ball alive there.
All right, here's Julius without the ball, and Clint Richardson. Both cheeks. Richardson with the ball. Full court pressure. Desperation time for the Bucks, and Milwaukee is just
Spread it out.
Has too much savvy. They've got a lot of veterans out there. We're in overtime in Washington. Boston and Washington in overtime. Cheeks misses the shot, and Milwaukee comes out with it. Moncrief has missed his last 9 shots. Leaves it for Robert Smith. He's in 3-point territory, can't get it in, and Alton Lister gets the 2. Not enough time remaining.
I think Milwaukee missed too many opportunities when Philadelphia did make mistakes. And the other thing is that they were never able to get the kind of team that out there for a long period of time that could work together real well.
The loss of Bridgman probably hurt him even more than Buckner because Bridgman could play defense against Julius Erving. And of course, they didn't have to worry about having Moncrief so much guarding Toney. There's so many matchup problems that existed because of the injuries to those two.
Now, Don Nelson agrees that he thought that they missed Bridgman more than they did Buckner. I happen to think that they missed Buckner more.
All right.
And the reason I say that is because he could take the defensive pressure off by guarding Andrew Toney or Clint Richardson. Plus, he does a good job as anyone in the league in controlling the tempo of a game for the coach.
Good point.
And that is really a part of how well you play is how well you control the tempo.
Mike Burks has been our producer, Sandy Grossman our director. We want to thank everyone that had a role in this game. Our statistician, Marty Aronoff. Bob Siderman, our audio man, in a very loud Milwaukee arena. The Philadelphia 76ers lead 100-90. And by the way, Clint Richardson has 10 rebounds in this ballgame. Pretty good. You know, we've been talking about the Milwaukee injuries. But had Milwaukee been at full strength, that doesn't mean they would have beaten this Philadelphia club, although they're still alive, trailing 3-1 in the series in another 23 seconds. The Philadelphia 76ers, who had their ups and downs all year. Dawkins going out. You saw him with that injury, the fractured shin bone against the New Jersey Nets on January 17th. More injuries than Billy Cunningham had to endure as a head coach than any time in his career, and he had to make a lot of changes. The acquisition of Bantam helped a lot. The fact remains that Philadelphia is playing its best basketball right now, and it couldn't come at a better time, especially in the light of the fact that the Boston Celtics are in a struggle with Washington. And if Boston survives that, Philadelphia goes on and wins. With Game 5 coming up Wednesday in Philly, we may see the Sixers and the Celtics write a new chapter.
Very eloquently done, Dick.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And there's our Miller MVP.
Yep.
He's had quite a game today, and a lot of things he did were, like he made some key passes that weren't assists, but they led to assists.
All right, 10-point game. Winners wants the 3-point, fires it up and gets it. All right, it's now a 7-point game, 193 with 14 seconds to play. Don't forget, we're going to take you to Washington for the overtime game. When we're through here, Brent Musburger, of course, is at CBS Sports Control. Philadelphia using up the time. 5 seconds to go, and Philadelphia got what they wanted. A split in Milwaukee and leads 3-1 in the best-of-7 series. And that's the final score, 100-93 Philadelphia over Milwaukee. For Bill Russell, Dick Stockton saying so long. Right now, let's go back to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?